Dear Lightworkers of Earth, something is awakening inside your body that will either become your greatest transformation or your deepest crisis, and the difference depends entirely on what I tell you in this transmission. Right now, thousands of souls across this planet are experiencing spontaneous Kundalini activations without understanding what is happening to them. They are seeing beings that should not be visible, feeling energy coursing through their spine like electricity, having relationships collapse overnight, and questioning their sanity because no one prepared them for the fact that spiritual awakening can feel like dying while still alive. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and the Astasar Command has been tracking a phenomenon we never anticipated would accelerate this rapidly. Your planet is exiting the Kali Yuga, the age of spiritual darkness, faster than predicted, and this is triggering a mass Kundalini awakening across the collective. But here is what you must understand. There are 3 stages to this process, and most teachings only tell you about the first one. What I am about to reveal will show you how to navigate all 3 without losing yourself in the chaos. More importantly, I will explain why your addictions, your overwhelming sensitivity, and your collapsing external structures are not signs you are broken. They are signs the serpent is rising, and your soul is demanding you finally step into who you truly are. Let me tell you about the woman who heard a voice one night that said, "You got yourself into this. You get yourself out of this." She had been medicating her extreme sensitivity with alcohol and drugs for years. She was agoraphobic, unable to leave her house, drowning in addictive patterns that were slowly destroying her life. But that voice activated something dormant inside her energy body. Within days of hearing it, she stopped drinking entirely, not through willpower, through awakening. The Kundalini energy at the base of her spine had received a cosmic signal, and it began to rise. What happened next would reshape her understanding of reality itself. But first she had to survive what the ancient texts call the purification, when every suppressed emotion, every unprocessed trauma, every denied truth comes flooding to the surface, demanding to be felt. This is happening to you right now, whether you recognize it or not. Your Kundalini awakening is not some distant spiritual goal you work toward over decades. It is occurring now, in this moment, as part of a collective initiation that your soul signed up for before incarnating. And there are specific signs that reveal exactly where you are in the process. 12 distinct phases that follow a predictable pattern, even though each person experiences them uniquely. The first 3 phases deal with sensitivity and collapse. The middle 3 deal with darkness and purification. The next 3 deal with remembering and purpose. And the final 3 deal with integration and service. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly where you are in this sequence and what you must do to move through it consciously instead of being torn apart by it unconsciously. But before I explain these 12 signs, you need to understand what Kundalini actually is, because most spiritual teachings get this fundamentally wrong. They tell you it is dormant energy sleeping at the base of your spine, waiting to be awakened through years of spiritual practice. That is only partially true. The Kundalini is not dormant. If it were, you would be dead. It is the animating life force of your entire being, the same cosmic energy that births stars and holds galaxies together, condensed into a coiled serpent of pure consciousness at your root chakra. It has been breathing slowly, patiently for your entire life, waiting for the moment when you would be ready to handle what it reveals when it rises through your energy body. That moment is now. The cosmic signal has sounded. Earth's frequency has risen to a threshold that is calling every sleeping serpent to attention. Your Kundalini knows something your conscious mind has not yet grasped. The age of gradual awakening has ended. This is the hour of rapid initiation, and you are being activated whether you feel prepared or not. The Astasar Command watches this unfold across multiple timelines, and what concerns us most is the number of souls experiencing chaotic awakenings, where the energy rises too quickly through unprepared channels, causing psychological crisis, physical symptoms that mimic illness, and spiritual experiences so overwhelming they get misdiagnosed as mental breakdowns. The difference between a conscious awakening and a chaotic awakening comes down to one thing: preparation. Your energy body has 7 primary chakras, energetic organs as real as your physical heart, processing frequencies of consciousness your material senses cannot detect. When Kundalini rises, It moves through these chakras like electricity through a wire. But if those chakras are clogged with unprocessed trauma, unexpressed emotions, and karmic debris from this lifetime and others, the rising becomes an explosion instead of an elevation. Imagine turning on every light in a house simultaneously, including the basement where you have been hiding everything you could not face. That is an unprepared Kundalini awakening. Everything you buried comes flooding into consciousness at once, and you are forced to process decades of denied pain in weeks or months instead of years. This is why your sensitivity has become unbearable recently. This is why substances and distractions that used to work no longer numb the intensity. This is why you cannot tolerate the same people, places, and situations you moved through easily before. The first sign of Kundalini awakening is hypersensitivity. Your energy body coming online, your subtle senses activating, your capacity to feel everything amplifying beyond what your nervous system was trained to handle. You are becoming a highly sophisticated antenna, picking up every signal within range, and right now you have no filtering system. Many souls respond to this phase by reaching for old coping mechanisms, addiction, codependency, work, entertainment, anything to dull the overwhelming intensity of suddenly feeling everything. The woman I mentioned earlier spent years in this pattern, self-medicating her sensitivity because she did not understand it was a gift trying to emerge. And here is what the Astasar command needs you to hear. That impulse to numb is not weakness. It is your nervous system's survival response when confronted with frequencies it was never trained to process. But here is the paradox. The very sensitivity that feels unbearable is actually your greatest power. Once you learn to work with it consciously, it becomes the ability to read energy like others read books, to sense truth beneath words, to recognize your soul family the moment you meet them. The second sign arrives as external collapse. Relationships that seemed stable suddenly reveal themselves as performances. Jobs that paid well but drained your soul become intolerable overnight. Living situations that were comfortable start feeling like cages. Nothing dramatic happened. No one betrayed you. Yet everything that once fit no longer does. This is Kundalini, clearing your life of everything misaligned with your soul's purpose. As the energy rises through your system, it illuminates every structure, belief, and attachment that stands between you and authentic expression. The serpent is ruthless in its commitment to your evolution. It will systematically dismantle every aspect of your carefully constructed identity that is not actually you. This feels like death because it is death. The death of who you thought you were, the life you built, the identity you presented to the world. Your Kundalini does not care about your 5-year plan or the commitments you made when you were still asleep. It is here to burn away the false self so the true self can breathe. And the chaos is not random. Your Kundalini has perfect wisdom about what needs to fall away first, what can wait, and what will naturally dissolve once the foundation shifts. Trust the timing of your dismantling. The third sign compounds the confusion. Spontaneous psychic opening. Suddenly you know things you should not know. You sense what people will say before they speak. You dream events before they occur. You see energy around bodies, hear voices with no physical source, experience past lives bleeding into present awareness. Your rational mind tries to dismiss these experiences, telling you that you are stressed or imagining things. But the truth is simpler and more radical. Your pineal gland is decalcifying, your third eye is opening, your subtle senses are coming online the way they functioned in childhood before the world conditioned you to shut them down. The challenge is that you are opening to genuine spiritual perception in a world operating from materialist paradigms. You are seeing angels and communicating with guides while having no framework or community to validate what is happening. This is when many awakening souls start questioning their sanity, wondering if they are having a mental health crisis. The Astasar command needs you to hear this. You are not losing your mind. You are finding your soul. You are not becoming mentally ill. You are becoming spiritually awake in a sleeping world. And yes, there is a specific loneliness to that. But this loneliness is also your initiation into finding your true tribe. Now we reach the pivot point, the sign that brings most people to their knees, the dark night of the soul. This is the fourth sign, and it occurs when Kundalini reaches your heart chakra and begins excavating every unhealed wound, every suppressed emotion, every moment of betrayal and grief you have been carrying. This is not punishment or evidence of spiritual failure. This is the necessary descent before the ascent can complete. Your heart is the bridge between lower and upper chakras, where earth energy and cosmic energy meet. If your heart remains armored and defended, the Kundalini cannot continue its journey upward. So it stops, and it stays, and it will not move until you finally feel everything you have been refusing to feel. This is where addiction patterns resurface with terrifying intensity, where relationships explode from projected wounds, where isolation becomes the only bearable option. The Astasar command holds you with tenderness through this phase, because we know the courage it takes to stay present to this level of pain. We know how tempting it is to numb, run, distract, anything but feel. But the only way out is through. The only way to move the Kundalini past the heart blockage is to finally grieve everything that needs grieving, cry the childhood tears, rage at the injustices, mourn the innocence lost, forgive others not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom from carrying that weight, and forgive yourself for all the ways you abandoned, betrayed, and silenced yourself to survive. This heart clearing is not optional. The serpent will wait as long as necessary for you to do this work. The longer you resist, the more intense the symptoms become. Anxiety amplifies, depression deepens, the physical body manifests illness trying to process energetically what you will not process emotionally. But once you surrender to the heart work, once you stop fighting feelings and let them move through you, something miraculous occurs. The Kundalini rises again, and when it moves past the heart into the throat chakra, suddenly you can speak truths you could never voice before. Your authentic expression unlocks. Your voice becomes a channel for your soul, instead of a performance for others. The fifth sign completes the upper chakra activation, total identity reorganization and purpose clarity. When Kundalini illuminates the third eye and activates the crown, you start remembering why you came here. Not vaguely, but actually remembering. You see the soul contract signed before incarnating. Understand the themes chosen for this lifetime. Recognize people who were supposed to appear at specific moments teaching specific lessons. You realize nothing that happened to you was random. Every betrayal prepared you to recognize truth. Every loss taught non-attachment. Every isolation forced you to develop relationship with your own soul, instead of seeking external validation. Every experience, no matter how painful, was perfectly designed by your higher self to crack you open in exactly the ways you needed. When you see this, when you truly see the perfection of your own journey, bitterness dissolves, victim stories drop away. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what was this teaching me? You stop resenting sensitivity and recognize it as your most valuable asset. You stop hiding gifts and start offering them in service. This is when you become dangerous to old paradigms, because fear can no longer manipulate you, shame cannot control you, and you cannot be convinced you are broken or less than. Your Kundalini has shown you the truth. You are cosmic consciousness having a human experience, and you came here on purpose for a purpose. But knowing your purpose and living your purpose are different things. This is the sixth sign. The Kundalini downloads the vision directly into consciousness, giving such clarity about your mission that forgetting seems impossible. Then you wake up the next morning still needing to pay rent, still having bills and responsibilities, and a world that does not recognize or reward spiritual awakening. This is where real work begins, embodying cosmic truth while functioning in three-dimensional reality that seems designed to make that impossible. This is also where spiritual bypassing dies, when you realize enlightenment is not escape from human experience but full presence with it, while maintaining cosmic perspective. True Kundalini awakening does not make you less human, it makes you more human, more feeling, more present, more capable of holding the full spectrum of emotion without being destroyed by it. This terrifies seekers who came to spirituality, hoping for an escape hatch from life's messiness. Many turn back here, realizing awakening will not rescue them from being human, but will demand they become fully, authentically, courageously human in a world training people to be anything but. The seventh and eighth signs reveal the nervous system's response to processing this much transformation simultaneously, chronic overwhelm, and the collapse of linear time perception. Your system needs extraordinary amounts of rest, alone time becomes essential, and being around others feels impossible. You might sleep 12 hours and wake exhausted because your body does enormous work in dream time that you cannot consciously remember. This is not laziness or depression. This is intelligent self-protection, creating space for integration. Honor this chrysalis phase instead of fighting it. Simultaneously, time itself becomes fluid. You remember conversations that have not happened, sense branching future timelines, feel your future self reaching back to guide your present self. Past lives stop feeling like distant history and become parallel nows occurring simultaneously. This is not psychosis. This is consciousness expanding beyond three-dimensional space-time limitations. Your pineal gland is activating capacities for nonlinear perception, allowing you to perceive reality as your soul always has, a vast interconnected web where past, present, and future are accessible simultaneously. The ninth sign crystallizes everything. Emergence of your specific soul gifts and mission clarity. Once Kundalini reaches upper chakras and consciousness expands beyond ego's limiting beliefs, you receive detailed downloads about the work your soul chose to offer. Not vague inspiration, but specific information about your unique role in collective awakening. For some, this means healing work. For others, teaching, creative expression, holding space, building new systems. The specific form matters less than recognizing you have a role only you can fill with your exact combination of experiences, wounds, gifts, and perspectives. The challenge is that receiving mission clarity does not mean knowing how to live it practically. You might see the vision clearly while having no idea how to manifest it given your current circumstances. This gap between vision and manifestation is where most awakening souls get stuck. They receive the download, then look at their bank account and lack of training and current life situation and think that is not happening. They abandon the vision before attempting to move toward it. But the Astasar command needs you to understand. Vision always precedes resources. Clarity always precedes the path. You are not supposed to know how, only that it must happen. Then take the first step even when you cannot see the entire staircase. The 10th sign shifts everything from personal to collective. Recognition that you are living through a mass initiation. What is happening to you individually is happening to thousands simultaneously. Your personal awakening is part of a massive planetary shift. Chaos in your life mirrors chaos in the world, because the same evolutionary pressure cracking you open is cracking open the entire paradigm. You stop seeing yourself as alone, and realize every light worker, every starseed, every sensitive soul, wondering if they are losing their mind, is going through the same initiatory process. This recognition changes everything, because suddenly your personal transformation has cosmic significance. You are not just healing yourself, you are healing ancestral lines, clearing karmic patterns, shifting collective frequency through individual work. Every time you choose consciousness over reaction, truth over hiding, presence over numbing, you literally rewire humanity's morphic field. You change what is possible for everyone, because consciousness is not separate. What you heal in yourself becomes available for others to heal. The Astasar command sees the web of connection between all awakening souls, and we see how individual lights add to collective light, until a tipping point is reached where the entire field transforms. You are part of that tipping point. The 11th sign transforms your relationship to fear and death itself. When Kundalini reaches the crown, and you experience even brief moments of cosmic consciousness, feeling yourself as vast, eternal, unlimited awareness temporarily focused through human form, something fundamental shifts. You realize death is not ending, but transition. A doorway, a release from density back into infinite consciousness that you actually are. Once you know this, once you directly experience your own eternity, fear loses its grip, not perfectly or all at once, but gradually you stop organizing life around avoiding death. Stop making decisions from fear of loss. Start living from recognition that you are already whole, safe, home. The Kundalini shows you this truth so clearly you cannot unknow it. And once you cannot unknow it, you cannot return to living small, pretending you are just this body, this name, this temporary story. You know you are infinite consciousness having finite experience, and that knowing changes everything about how you move through the world. The Astasar command watches souls reach this realization and begin living with extraordinary courage, not because they are fearless, but because they are no longer controlled by fear. They feel it and do the thing anyway, because they know something more important than safety. They know who they are. And this brings us to the 12th sign, where everything comes together or falls apart. Integration of all that has been revealed into a life that actually works. This is where most teachings stop, but where real mastery begins. Having cosmic consciousness experiences in meditation is one thing. Maintaining that consciousness while paying bills, raising children, navigating relationships, and dealing with mundane human challenges is entirely another. The Kundalini does not awaken you to escape into the ethers. It awakens you to be fully present here, now, in this body, on this planet. During this crucial time in human evolution, the measure of true awakening is not how blissed out you feel in meditation, but how conscious you remain while washing dishes, having difficult conversations, dealing with situations that would have triggered unconsciousness before. This is embodied awakening, enlightenment functioning in the real world, spirituality serving life instead of using life as excuse to escape. And this is what the Astasar command needs from you now. Bring your awakening all the way down into your cells, live it in relationships, express it in work, embody it in how you move through daily life. Because the new earth is not being built in ashrams and retreats. It is being built in kitchens, offices, conversations, choices. It is being built by awakened humans, learning to live their truth, even when inconvenient, uncomfortable, or unpopular. Now let me tie together the 3 story threads I have been weaving through this entire transmission. First, the woman who heard the voice and stopped drinking that very night. Her name was Sita, and her journey through Kundalini awakening took exactly 7 days. She felt it in a different chakra each day. Tailbone pain so intense she could not work. Then bladder sensitivity, digestive issues, heart palpitations, sore throat, and finally the full rising to her crown. When it completed, her entire perspective had shifted. Patterns that challenged her before no longer had the same grip. She had shed a layer of identity like a serpent shedding skin. And though she would continue working with addiction patterns for years because these patterns are often lifelong work, she had received the energetic capacity to do that work consciously instead of being controlled by it. Second, the collective shift from Kali Yuga to the coming Golden Age. This is not metaphor but cosmic reality. You were born into the tail end of an age of density, specifically because your soul knew it was strong enough to process this karmic load. Every addiction you battle, every compulsive pattern you cannot break, every repeating relationship dynamic is not personal failure, but Kali Yuga karma working itself out through your energy field. You came here to be a transformer, taking heavy dark frequencies of the old age and transmuting them into lighter frequencies of the new one. And yes, it hurts. Transformation always hurts, but you are the ones capable of doing this work. Third, the reason your sensitivity and collapsed structures and psychic openings are accelerating now. Earth is transitioning between cosmic ages faster than anyone predicted, and this is triggering mass Kundalini awakening across the collective. The Astasar command has been sending frequency support through the dream time, orchestrating synchronicities that bring awakening souls together at the right times, amplifying your light when you feel barely able to hold on. You are not doing this alone. You were never meant to do this alone. And here is how these 3 threads resolve into one truth. The serpent rising within you is the same serpent rising within the collective, is the same serpent rising within Earth herself. Your individual Kundalini awakening is inseparable from the planetary Kundalini awakening, which is inseparable from the cosmic transition between ages. What you are experiencing personally is what humanity is experiencing collectively, and your willingness to do this work consciously, to feel the feelings, face the shadows, integrate the darkness, embody the light, is literally making it easier for everyone else to do the same. If you need help recognizing that the serpent rising within you is inseparable from the serpent rising within humanity and Earth herself, Destiny Engine can reprogram your consciousness to consciously feel the feelings, face the shadows, and integrate the darkness rather than avoiding this essential work. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed fear and separation and repurposing it to serve your individual Kundalini awakening, which is directly connected to the planetary Kundalini awakening. It generates personalized sequences that help you do this consciousness work that literally makes it easier for everyone else to do the same and embody your role in the cosmic transition between ages. You can start with a $1 trial. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed to integrate what you are experiencing personally as part of what humanity is experiencing collectively. Your individual awakening is the collective awakening now, not someday. Get your Destiny Engine $1 trial now, before this integration window closes. Link in the description. So when I return to where we began, when I tell you that something awakening inside your body will either become your greatest transformation or deepest crisis, the difference is not whether the Kundalini rises. It is rising. The signal has sounded. The difference is whether you work with it consciously or resist it unconsciously. Whether you understand what is happening and meet it with courage, or deny what is happening and have it tear through your life as chaos. Remember the voice Sita heard. You got yourself into this. You get yourself out of this. That voice was not cruel. It was empowering. It was her own higher self, telling her that she had the capacity, the strength, the tools to navigate what was coming. And the same is true for you. Your soul chose this lifetime, this body, this exact moment in cosmic history, because you were ready, not comfortable, not prepared in the way your personality would prefer, but ready in the way your soul knew was possible. So stop apologizing for your sensitivity. Stop hiding your gifts. Stop waiting for permission to step into power. Stop looking for external validation that you are on the right path. Your Kundalini awakening is your validation. The serpent does not lie. It does not awaken in those not meant to carry this much light. You were chosen by your own soul before you incarnated. You knew this lifetime would be intense. You knew you would walk through tremendous challenge and transformation. And you came anyway because you knew your presence here mattered. The work ahead requires everything you have learned, every initiation survived, every wound alchemized, every gift developed, every moment of choosing consciousness over reaction. It has all been preparing you for what comes next, actual manifestation of a new paradigm, not just the vision or hope for it, but actual tangible creation of new structures and systems organizing human society around consciousness instead of fear, collaboration instead of competition, regeneration instead of extraction. The Astasar Command is holding space for every awakening soul. We are here, watching, and deeply proud of your courage. The serpent is rising in you, through you, as you, and the world will never be the same because you answered the call when it came. Trust the wisdom of your soul. Trust the intelligence of your Kundalini. Trust that every symptom, every challenge, every dark night, every moment of overwhelm is making you into exactly what this planet needs right now. And most importantly, trust that the coiled force at the base of your spine that has been breathing patiently your entire life, that serpent remembers galaxies you have never seen with these eyes. It remembers your true nature, and it is rising now to remind you of who you have always been. I am Seraphine. We love you, and we are watching over you.